Yours truly, Brevin Thompson, here to talk about Rambo Last Blood, directed by Adrian Grunberg and stars Sylvester Stallone once again as John Rambo himself. So this film takes place 11 years after the events of Rambo 4, and Rambo has lived a quiet and happy life at his father's old ranch, and has a niece, Gabrielle, who is sort of, he kind of views her as a daughter. But Gabrielle decides to visit her estranged father in Mexico. Things don't turn out pretty good, as she is later kidnapped by the Mexican cartel so they can use her for sex trafficking, and it's up to Rambo to save her, and a lot of bad guys get killed in the process, and it is glorious. So there are things that I like about this movie, and there are things that I don't like about this movie, but so I'm going to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, so I just want to get over of how I felt about the movie. So right off the bat, I still think that Sylvester Stallone, as always, is badass as Rambo, and the action is bloody and violent as hell. It's almost in comparison to Rambo 4, but I wouldn't say there's as much innocent people being brutally tortured or raped or killed. Well, that's brought down to a minimum, thank God. So I would say, it's bloody and everything, and it doesn't hold back on the violence. I wouldn't say it's as completely bloody. I would say Rambo Last Blood and Rambo 4 are pretty much at a tie at the bloody violence part. As far as supporting characters go, Gabrielle I thought was a pretty interesting character. I just wish that her character was given a bit more of a background. Same thing with some other characters. Rambo does eventually team up with this reporter to track down Gabrielle. There are moments throughout the film where I'm like, is she really needed? But, this might be a nitpick. Well, yeah. I would say it is a nitpick. As far as the villains go, they're sadistic as hell. Particularly, one of the main villains who, one of the few that beat the shit out of Rambo, but they begin to realize they might have just fucked with the wrong guy, and they pay with their lives, of course. I wouldn't say that the villains in this movie are memorable, but they do have their moments, I will admit that. As far as negatives go, I will say that the first act does take a bit too long for things to get moving forward, because it does feel a little bit slow at times. But right around the third act, I was on the edge of my seat, because there's more tension and everything, and there's one moment throughout the film's climax that it kind of bugged me a bit. It was like there were, when Rambo was like setting off explosions underground, and there was we see them go off, and I almost couldn't tell if it was an actual explosion or if it was CGI, but right when it cuts right back to the ranch, you could tell you could almost tell that it was CGI. Well, all that aside, I did like this movie. I don't really have much problems with it. A few minor nitpicks here and there. As for whether or not this is the final film in the franchise, I still enjoyed it. It's still a hell of a lot of fun. Sylvester Stallone, like I said, is still awesome as always as Rambo, and if this is indeed the last time we get to see him play this character, then I wouldn't say that he went out on a high note, but he still proves to be pretty badass, and definitely looked like he was still in good shape, even at his age. So that was definitely impressive. And this is one of my most anticipated films of the entire year. Well, a few minor things that kind of bugged me. That still didn't stop me from enjoying the movie. I'm gonna give Rambo: Last Blood a B. So, what are your thoughts on this movie? Let me know in the comment section below. I've really looked forward to doing this video, so it was worth the wait. So, thank you so much as always for watching and supporting my channel, and I hope you liked the little intro that I did earlier before starting the review. So, thank you for as always for watching my videos, and I'm looking forward to doing more very soon. And if you want news on the latest new or old movies, you know where to find me.